how are you?
Hey, welcome.
Thanks.
Hello, beautiful poets and poetry enthusiasts. Welcome to Poetry in the Brew. Give yourselves a hand for making it out tonight, braving the cold. We make some heat up here. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're with us. We like to say this show is what you make it. So thank you for making it. We will have our feature Liz joining us a little later. I'm your host, Christine Hall. Extra special thanks to Patrick and the crew of Portland Brew East. They stay open late just for us. So make sure you're enjoying something to eat or drink from them and you tip them directly in cash to show your thanks. We have that jar there for our suggested $5 cover, or there are several other methods of paying. Or if you want to get on a subscription basis and have all your suggested covers taken care of and get little gifts too, we have a new Patreon this month. And that's where we will be posting our live streams. We are currently live streaming. Hi. I should adjust that camera angle. Let's see. Well, I think I will start us off. We don't have that many on the open mic list, so we got wiggle room for your time. If you're thinking about whether or not to do that extra poem, go ahead and do it tonight. And I'll start us off with a quick one, and then we will get to the open mic. EX. Tuesday. Me. Today's password is peanut butter. Wednesday. Me. Today's password is raisin. Him. Peanut butter. Me. No, raisin. Him. Peanut butter is 2 words. Me. Raisin. Thursday. Me. Today's password is coconut. Him. You always have to make the password of food. Friday. Me. Today's password is dolphin. Him. Mango. Me. Dolphin. Dolphin, 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 fucking porcupine. Him. There shouldn't be a password. You have too many rules. Saturday. Me. Today's password is fuck off. Sunday. Me. Today's password is. Some people are allergic to peanuts. Not everyone likes peanut butter. Anyone can say peanut butter. Not everyone will say it. Our first speaker on the open mic tonight, please give a warm welcome for Billy H.
Way with Words. The name that Stephen Dale Jones, my musical collaborator, coined for my publishing company. You see, I'm addicted to them. I can't live without them. I collect them on little scraps of paper deposited in small plastic cylinders, always at my fingertips on the writer's desk in my study. Seeds of thought, hoping that one day they may germinate. But words alone are cold, dead, empty, lifeless, worthless until they are shared. They must be thrown out into the ether, from which they will return like bread crumbs on water. Reciprocal gifts from our friends with words. Synonyms and antonyms, he can't get enough of them. But I treasure thesaurus, my friend with words. Translations, redefined, have evolved over time, noted by etymologists. More friends with words. A palaver's colloquy, a parley of verbosity. But the art of phraseology is the sweetest sound I've ever heard. So let 'em roll off poets' tongues. The more the merry, and then some. I'm not in to words with friends. I prefer my friends with words. Crossword puzzles, not my thing. Scrabble's never been my game. I'm entertained by soirees of friends with words. Tolerate colloquialism for the sake of syllogism. Relate to every ism of all your friends with words. A palaver's colloquy, a parlay of verbosity, the art of phraseology, the sweetest sound I've ever heard. So let 'em roll off poets' tongues. The more the merry, and then some. I'm not in words with friends. I prefer friends with words. You, and you, all of my friends with words.
Keep it going for Billy H. Woo! Oh. Oh, hey, it's so lovely to see y'all. Happy newcomers. I've got a list here, and I'm going to be putting it back down. So if anybody's not on it yet and wants to be on it, please join us. Oh, and now we are so grateful to welcome back Kelsey.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I think I'll read a couple wintry poems with the snow. This first one is called Revolution. Through the frozen glass, a single icicle hovers, spinning in the beams of the sun. Unswayed by the breeze, it grips tight to the branch, tethered by gossamer threads, an invisible cocoon about to burst. Beads of sweat gather and drip to puddle the ground below, where crystallized molecules vanish and lift, eager to return to the sky. Listen how it hums, quivering in luminous joy, waiting for that perfect moment to finally descend. Feel it tremble and shake, like a missile before its sweet release, like the moment your eyes locked briefly with mine, that split second just before you blinked, then dropped, dagger-like, silent and spinning, shattering the ground into 1,000 shards. And since it sounds like we have some time, I have a tendency, my natural instinct is to write narrative poetry. So if you'll indulge me this poem in celebration of my 3rd anniversary today. It's called Friars Point, Mississippi. Daybreak. Morning blues serenade the moon, and starry skies greet our new start. Behind us, the highway slowly yawns. Curious, it snakes along, follows us as we follow the river. The delta dawns, looms and sways, beckons slow through neon fog. We came to chase the sunrise, seeking freedom others fled to find. The car hums low, a mournful echo of sound like the wolf's deep growl, moaning at midnight as we drive. We pass the time with blind Willie Johnson preaching his chords of redemption. Our floorboards steepled with nighttime coffee cups, their steam long since extinguished, halos snuffed out like the riverboats of long ago. When we arrive, the cotton fields are bare, already picked and scattered. Only a few white stragglers remain, wind-whipped by time, strips of baptismal shrouds longing for salvation. Abandoned churches dot the land. They groan heavy, the way dirty snow clumps refuse their fate. Nothing remains but the mud. We stop the car to squish and ooze our way up the river banks, breathe in her foul morning breath. It floods us like stench from drunken sailors out sinning all night. Along the horizon, a bridge winks, a blinking reminder where we were meant to cross. But no matter. We climb anyway, hand in hand, up her grand muddy banks like our own Mount Everest, and remove our gold bands with a last goodbye. Together, we slip 20 years into her murky mouth. She greedily accepts our offerings, gurgles them down deep, to be later swallowed by catfish who, hooked on the shine, mistake them for some sort of buried treasure. Over the bridge, a sliver of rainbow struggles through the clouds, tightly packed like a gospel choir, resurrected in all their Sunday glory. Thank you.
More for Kelsey D. Woo! Oh, gorgeous work. So grateful to hear your voice again. Thank you. Happy anniversary! Oh, cool. Love special occasions here. I will say, little tidbit, we've actually had 2 proposals successful right here during features. So that's kind of awesome if anybody's ever thinking of something to do. Okay. Welcome back and thank you, Beth Marie.
We are a pair to be seen by eyes that will not tell, suspended in between heaven and hell. I am more part than whole, cradling empty space. Still you can rend my soul, image without a face. You are a trick of the light, real but not what you seem, visible only at night, a dream. We are a pair to behold, untold, a perfectly wordless tune, Venus and the moon. Thank you. I love this space, can I just say? I've been all month since last month, I've been like, when can I go back and be in this space with all you people who love words? So thank you for joining me in this space. I have a couple more poems. The next poem has a little spattering of Swahili in it. I lived in Tanzania for 6 years, and it's a very special place to me. It won't be translated, I won't translate, but it's very much a poem about the rhythm and the music of daily life. And so just let the rhythm and the music of the mysterious words wash over you without knowing what they mean. I send you songs across the ocean. Morning bird song, kumekucha, a new day. Noon sun song, jua kali, heat that cuts like a knife. Afternoon laughter, mambo poa, children meandering home from school. Evening home song, karibu chakula, the clattering of pans and plates. Night song, giza, birds and bats and insects which belong to the dark. Lala Salama, sweet, peaceful sleep. Thank you. And then this next one, I always get pushed by deadlines, and so this next one I finished this morning. So yay for pressure to write. This is a benevolent divorce poem. I am not removing my tattoo. I'm not erasing you. These lines on my skin don't even begin to show what's within, the words and the worlds that we've been through, the webs that we wove ourselves into. For better or worse, you are deep in my story. And that doesn't change because we're rearranging us. Just because we don't get our ever afters, why should we try to delete those chapters? So I'll wear the mark of the promise I'm breaking. The ink and the itch on my fingers, the pain and the panic that lingers, the lies and the lessons, the aching like hell. the times when I loved you so damn well. And maybe I fell from grace and from goodness. And yes, this reminds me of rejection and regret, and yet I don't wish we'd never met. So after you're gone and we've both moved on, I'll still let the whole world see the part of you will always be carved into me. Thank you so much.
Exquisite phrasing. Let's hear it for Beth Marie. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, you all got me spitzing already. Thank you. Oh, what beautiful people. So glad you're here. I have the list. I'll put it back down there. If anybody isn't on it yet and would like to be, we want to hear from everybody. We all get our turn. If you'd like to speak, if you just want to listen, we like that too. All right, so, oh my goodness gracious, we get to welcome back and thank you, Lori Todd.
When I was in college, I majored in political science. And because one of the best teachers taught Russian studies, I took some of his courses, which at the time were about what's called the Soviet Union. And I minored in English and made sure to not ever have to read a poem. But a few years later, alas, the poem started to creep in, and I found one that just really touched my heart. And in 4 lines, it really sums up what I learned in all those years. So I'm going to save you a little time and just read these 4 lines. And after that, I'll read some of my own poetry, which is meaning more to me after what's been going on in the world. Zelensky and Ukrainians and Navalny, you may know about him, the Russian who is in prison for trying to bring freedom and democracy to his country. And their bravery. So this is by the poet Fyodor Chuchev, written in 1866, about Russia. You will not grasp her with your mind or cover with a common labor. For Russia is one of a kind. Believe in her if you are able. One by one, we stand. We are love. We are the life that will not lose. Life loves me, and I love others. Life, love, me, you. This power is you. Life is our silent knowing, our union with this power. Life's spirit inside of your name, held within your body, trying to be heard. I'm just asking you to see it. The person inside of you who is real. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for Lori Todd. Thank you. That was an extraordinary offering. Now we're going to welcome back a poet, musician, storyteller, who we've been fortunate enough to know a while, and for a while there was one of our weekly attendees on the online open mics, which will be starting up again pretty soon. For now, super happy and grateful to welcome back Carl Lowe.
Hi. First poem I've got, I actually wrote about monuments, even though it may not seem to be about that. It's when everybody's about arguing what statue should get torn down, which one should be put down. So I wrote the name is the poem is The Clarity of Clouds, which is sort of I don't know what you'd call it, but the fact that clouds are not really having clarity at all. But anyway, so it's the clarity of clouds. The clarity of the clouds this morning suggests a creature trying to make up its mind about emotions. There's no wind, so the leaves across the pavement and the grass drowse fitfully, trying to dream back to last summer. Every naked branch above us has seen us at our best and worst, compassionate and murderous. So don't mistake the puzzling verdicts of the mottled light upon our monuments for memory. Each shift in light is just another question, a different puzzled state of mind, another lens that brightens and darkens. And the next one is about wildfires, which I haven't had too many large ones lately. But I think I wrote this when California was burning. Wildfires. Take a deep breath. Breathe in those wildfires, screaming in tongues, revelations of destruction, smoking out the sky and cloaking the world in darkness. With the combustion pain that becomes the rapid fast forward of the slow motion intensity that bakes the planet. But we can't stop now. We won't stop now. And we plunge on as flames murmur and the smoke lifts its giant hands, choking the great flare of the sun and offering the agony that we thought would take longer, but now leaves charred bodies in the braille of the smoking ruins. Keep reaching your wrong opinions. It's a free world, free country, free continent. You can always retreat to the strangers and imposters and hide among the money crowd as our Ponzi perspective reaches its logical end and we fleece the earth of everything that's burnable, when our epileptic obsession with piling up bare raw power over every living thing runs out of souls to suck dry. And the carnival barker who coaxes us on and on and on, he sits forlorn at the end of the smoke-darkened day. His megaphone dropped to the parched ground. His teleprompter melted after even the flames have given up. Thank you. And the last one I'll read right now, it's called I'm Suspicious. And this was just, I think, some reflections I had on a summer day. I'm suspicious of summer mornings where the insects have retreated to, where have they gone? As I walk in the sun that grows hotter overhead, I think, I am the man I have been becoming all these years, and this is the world that has been approaching since yesterday. And the planet goes more and more out of sync. Last night, I wandered in a dream world where the buildings, the walls, the doors, the windows, they'd all been coated with a thin covering of unhappy white paint, just thick enough to blot out a chance of knowing where I was, leaving me wondering where I wanted to be. But this morning, I conclude that the paint was a sign not to kill everything, a sign that we're not as radioactive as we're going to be, that somewhere a factory is making more paint, more cans, more brushes, more plastic drop cloths, more of the chemicals we need to preserve this fierce world that the insects want to abandon. Thank you.
Keep it going for Carl Lowe. Thank you. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Unless you're Carl Lowe, you're totally justified. Thank you for turning that into a poem. Goodness gracious. Next, we get to welcome back and thank you, Sarah Mingus.
on the list and you show a plate and there's spaces you never quite know exactly where they are. So it's great to be back. So I'm going to be reading a few poems from Whiskey Sweets, which is actually now out in hardcover. Yay! So my dream come true. My dream was to write a book of poetry, and years ago I thought I would never ever be able to do that. So it's a true honor. It makes my heart happy to have my third book in hardback. So. Okay, so this is for everyone in the room. Poet blood. Blood poets will bet it all, every last nickel. Damn it all to hell for one last poem. To feel alive one last time. Like an addict needs one last hit. Blood full of whiskey dreams, pulsing to the drum of the road less taken. They'll wait for that poem, like a lusty love affair they can't quite let go of. Somewhere between Bourbon Streets and Cafe du Monde, they'll sit and wait. They know better, of course. So I've been reminded because of Facebook that this week is the 2-year anniversary when everything shut down. And I'm Scotch Irish, so St. Patrick's Day is my second favorite holiday of all time. So I was really bummed out. So this is a poem I kind of wrote about that. It's a little outdated, but forbidden fruits. 8 months in, we still yearn for, long for, spaces filled with snaps and claps. I write super short poems, so if you blink, you might miss it. So 3 years ago, I was in Cleveland, Ohio, performing at my first featured reading that was not in the city that I lived in. And I had just written this poem, and so I was reading it from a piece of paper, and it's become near and dear to my heart. So for everyone who has ever been told that they will never, ever be a poet, this poem is for you. Mrs. Dawson-Brock said never. Fiery words fell from her mouth like daggers, designed to defend old school, rhyming, confining word creations in a box with no room to breathe. Dare to defy me, rule breaker, she scolded. You will never be a poet. Poetry lines must be orderly, confined to proper form, free verse to be banished to the beyond. Her cedar walls with double locks, words decaying its edges, destined to be free, despite her saying never. So briefly, because when you find a really awesome publisher and they love your stuff, it's really cool. So I have a new book coming out that my publisher has pre-approved, and he hasn't seen the manuscript yet, so go me. It's called How I Fought Barbie and Won. So it is a hybrid book of poems and also life coaching for women about body image and getting out of that messy yo-yo dieting crap that we've all, most of us have either been in or had people who we love who have. So I'm going to read a couple of poems from this book that will be in the next one. And then I hope you do. I know tonight there's a conflict, but I hope in the future, if you can ever get down to Twin Cakes 2, Matt Nowak, otherwise known as It's Matt Awesome, runs a weekly poetry event there. So I would love to see some of you also come out there if you haven't already been. He's a fantastic host. So I wrote a poem called Kissing Plastic that will be in the next book, and I'm going to be reading that next week. So I hope to see you all there. So tonight I'm just going to end with two really short ones. My fight with Barbie. Barbie and I had a fight last night. She is tired of being silenced, but thinks admiration ain't so bad. Me, I am tired of being compared to her hourglass perfect figure, impossible to replicate. And so I fall short where she soars. Still, I think I prefer to keep my voice instead of being plastic silence. And its sister poem is Diet of Denial. I never quite understood the appeal of denial diets, as my sister scrambled to fill shopping carts with the latest food fad. Me, I prefer the goddess gorge to denying my carb cravings. Maybe because I'm too good at breaking the rules and finding loopholes. Thank you, every single one of you who are here tonight, because it always makes my heart happy to be around poets. There's an amazing energy that only poets can provide. So thank you so much. I do have copies available in case anyone's interested, and I'm looking forward to hearing all the wonderful voices in the audience. Thank you. Have a good night.
Sarah Mingus, thank you. Congratulations. I love all the good news and the poetry. Love it. Yes. Yeah, check out It's Matt Awesome. If you are looking for something to do other Saturday nights, we would really like to have you here on the second Saturday of the month. But that's a weekly show, so get on over there if you you need some in between. I can understand that. Okay, so what I'm going to say is we only have 3 people left on the open mic right now, but I see some folks out here who aren't on the list. So yeah, get on there, pass it around. Would love to hear from you. Liz, our feature, is in the house. Woo! Super excited about that. So we will be hearing from Liz shortly. And ready? We welcome, I think, the first timer on our microphone. Wow. Thank you, Blake Matthews. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but it's having special times.
Not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. It is my first time, so and all of my stuff is short warning for it. 12 minutes raw, and if you need to step out, completely understand. This isn't named. I actually just kind of threw it together today. So here we go. When you question my gender identity, I see the hate in your eyes. So much you can't see past the lies. You wear your transphobia on your sleeve. It's so fucking easy to see. You never question what it's like to walk a day in my shoes. So here, let me tell you. Wake up and see my chest. It's reminded I'm different than you. Put on a binder to conform and blend to your society, breathing a little tighter to avoid being hate crimed. Rip it off when I get home, feel air into my lungs, see something as easy as breathing is an extra step to pass in your society. Every Friday, grab a needle and syringe to pull and inject myself, to not want to die all the time. Question my safety every time I go somewhere new, but that's not as big of an issue for you. My existence is a political debate. Laws are further passed to kill me. But for you, there's always bigger fish to fry. For me, this is life and death. I can't become complacent in my queerness because this next generation shouldn't have to take on this mantle. Rape, ridicule, assault, and murder, rights stripped away, that is the trans existence. This one is super short. It's just called Bathroom. Scared and afraid. Do I go here or there? Risk assault or ridicule? Does my gender need to be debated? Who are you to tell me where to relieve myself? Why is my autonomy a topic for the political debate when all I want to do is piss in peace? That's all
Great, Matthews, incredible. Would love to hear so much more from you. I really hope that you come back and let us, wow, delve into that some more. We have another first timer on our mic. What an honor. Thank you and welcome, Carol.
I'm Liz's mom, just in case she didn't say it loud enough for the guys in the back. So I'm actually going to read just one, and it's a new one I'm still working on, so it's never been heard in public before. I've never read it out loud before. It's called Another Other. Day 1, I am born. A Black girl with educated parents. My othering begins early. My middle-class, educated Black family moves me to a working-class white town in Ohio, and the othering continues. At 7, I move with my middle-class, educated, Midwestern Black family to historically wealthy, white, upstate New York for more othering. At 8, I can't read. They say I'm slow. I have to repeat 3rd grade in my highly educated, middle-class Black family. So they test me. Dyslexic spelled backwards is pronounced other. Every day I join the othered kids for special ed. But I'm a special kind of special, so it's only for an hour. I don't really belong there. After 2 years, I can read better than my dad's college students, and my testable skills are chart toppers. I'm gifted. I really don't belong there. More othering. At 12, I go to boarding school. I'm gifted. They create new classes for me, English and math, so I don't have to slow down my learning for the regular gifted kids to keep up with me. I'm with Sean for math, Leah for English. Everything else, extra credit will have to do. Accelerated othering. At 15, I go to high school. The kids there are rich, white, and not gifted. I take classes with seniors, but I room with freshmen. More othering. At 16, I drop out and go to college on the island of the misfit toys. 300 others, all different, gifted, and unique. Othering is the only thing we all have in common.
Oh,
Carol, amazing. Thank you. I could say so many trite things about Liz's talent and where it comes from, but what I want to say is thank you for passing it along. And wow, yes, carry that torch on. Whoo, we burn bright. Okay, so we have a first timer on our mic who I made the point of checking on the pronunciation of the name, but then I have brain glitches and sometimes I make improper associations. So if I make it wrong, please promise that you'll yell at me. We are super happy you're joining us tonight. And I'm glad to welcome, thank you, Aaron Stutzman. Did I get it right? Is that cool? Yeah? No, say it, yell at me.
You got the last name right, but the first name is
Oh, you're Adam. He's Adam. Why did I say Aaron? It was the last name I was. This is Adam. Hi, Adam. This is Adam Stutzman. Yo. Thank you.
If there's an A name, it's in.
You were too hung up on the last name. No, you're Adam.
Yeah, you nailed the last name, which is impressive.
Shoot.
Hi, Adam. So this is my first time reading this in front of people in like a decade. I did a couple Zoom open mics over the big thing that's been happening. But without a screen, it's a little different. So anyway, I'm gonna read 2 poems. They're each kind of fresh start, full circle related. The first one is like an instruction manual in 20 easy steps. It's called How to Sew a New Flag. It's a work in progress. 1, you lower the white flag and you walk back inside. 2, do the laundry. The white won't get whiter, but you bleach again and 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 again. Anyway, and again. 3, sit down to draw a new crest. Hate it and scribble it black. 4, stay in bed all week. 5, 3, sit down to draw a new crest. Hate it and scribble it black. 6, walk with it. Let the wind pull the fabric. A tug of war with God. He wins when you let him. 7, 5, 3, sit down to draw a new crest. Hate it and scribble the page tears. Throw it away. 8, walk again. Drag it through the mud. 8.5, do the laundry, use less bleach this time. 9, sit down to draw a new crest. Hate it, let it remain on the page. 10, walk again. Start to leave the dirt on, to smile at the smudges. 11, buy paint. Don't plan the colors. 11.5, use small strokes, and if you knock the bucket over, smear the paint everywhere. Let it dry uneven. 12, wash your hands. Leave flakes of color under your nails. 13, bleed on it. Fuck, that feels good. Get the gauze. 14, ball up the blood-soaked cloth. Leave the wrinkles, notice the cracks. 15, start little fires to fray the edges, but don't forget, put them out again. 16, change your mind on the paint, go back to the store to get more. 17, some of the paint was right the first time. Set the flag on the floor, pour buckets of colors onto it. Roll around in it. Wrap it around your neck, your legs, your arms, your feet. Bite it. Spit the colors back out. Do this until you fall asleep. Let the paint dry on your skin. 18, wake up, detangle, make coffee, stare at the mess while you sit. Nod, shower, dress. You'll clean up the living room later. Lay it flat, fold it, walk outside. 19, hook the flag onto the pole. 20, raise your new flag, declare independence. The next one is about my dad, who I don't often write about or really talk about, this directly at least. But he died by his own hand when I was 11, and his birthday is March 18th. And I wrote this past March 18th, and considering March 18th is Friday, it feels kind of appropriate to read it right now. It's called Finding a Gray Hair in My Beard on My Father's Birthday. He would have been 55 today. It feels wrong every year to be thinking about death days before the first of spring, but something cannot bloom without having been stripped to the bare branches or starting as nothing at all. Death feels right at home in life. I've always believed the chicken came first. There are water droplets on the little flowers I see on my way to the park. Is it dew or leftover rain from last night's thunderstorm? I'll ask the sprinting stream with the raised shoreline, desperate to get itself into the pond at the end, making a shining racket on the way. Storms are different here. I'm still getting used to southern weather. I pass a little girl in the grass, picking flowers from her front yard. To her, a yard without property lines or taxes, only flowers. And she says hello to me without looking up, and I say it back, and she still doesn't look up. She keeps picking flowers, the new ones. He didn't have gray hair yet, but that's not Death's fault. Bald in high school, fine curls of filthy blonde vanishing before math exams or the desire to die. But my hair is thick. It is dark. It is my mother's hair. and it shows the grays and whites in a shameless contrast. I plucked it from my chin and put on a shirt, and I didn't lock the front door when I left. I wind with the concrete down to the pond and see 2 children chasing ducks, and the older brother screams, "No," as they fly away, and their mother says to me, "They just can't help themselves." And without thinking, I replied, "I was there once too." And in my head, neither can I. He would have been 55 today, but chose to stop at 34. I've almost outlived him. That's not something people in their 30s often say, let alone feel. It usually happens when we are nearing double that, with children of our own chasing us every passing year in a race they don't know they are running. Thank you.
Adam Stutzman, everyone. I am continually wowed by the talent up here. Thank you, Adam, for coming out. It's incredible to hear from you for the first time. We would love more. I will remember your name. This is the list. We're going to call Lori back up to offer some of her personal poetry in just a moment. Other than that, I have 1 open micer left on the list. So if you want to be on it and get up here before we welcome our feature, come see me. So important that we all get a turn and support each other in turn. And right now, we're welcoming back with great thanks, Lori Todd.
No matter where we are, we may look out to space, put up our face to space, be awed, and feel that awe returned. We know then, unspoken, and are now confident enough to care. This is how we change the world. It is simple. Just this. In your own heart, care.
That's Lori Todd. Thank you again. Give all of yourselves a round of applause. Every open micer we've heard so far. We've got 1 more for you, unless I hear from you in the next couple minutes. But oh my goodness, get ready for this. We welcome back to our mic with great thanks, Silence Wordsmith.
Can you tell I like to dress up? This is called Cookie Cutter. Hearts and stars and crescent moons. Sugar and spice measured in cups and spoons. And as long as you keep your recipe book nearby, this should be as easy as pie. The breadwinner brings home the bacon. But what if it's the woman whose dough you're taking? You expect this high life, where the woman is a working girl and a housewife. Just because Rosie the River rolled up her sleeve doesn't mean you can go play make-believe. Now you gotta beef with the baker. She didn't make you breakfast, so you make her. You wipe away your milk mustache and open up a bottle of whiskey sour mash. All she wants is a little sugar, but has to take you with a grain of salt. Can't even share a straw of a chocolate malt. She keeps her oven open and hot, All you have to do is sign the pan, but you do not. Now you sleep in separate beds just to keep from breaking eggs. Soulmates reduced to roommates. A sink full of dirty plates. A man's work is done when he puts up his feet. A woman's work is never complete. Like a hot knife through butter. Honey, don't forget to wash up for supper. Like a hot knife through butter. Now we'll see who's the cookie cutter. So with proper etiquette, you can choke on your shortbread biscuit. Because now that the gloves are off, and you see she is no Peggy Sue, watch her wash her hands of you.
Oh, silence wordsmith. Always such a performance. Top-notch content. Thank you all. Is there anyone who has not spoken on the open mic and would like to? Give me a moment to do it. All right, barring any other burning words, we are so fortunate to arrive at that point in the evening where we welcome our feature. Okay, so I gotta let you know, I haven't known this poet for long, but like any of you who do, I was blown away from the very first breath. Like, wow. Okay, so, and then I was just held captive and stunned, and then it occurred to me, oh, I can ask this person to feature and enjoy this feeling for a little longer. Now, I say that with maybe most of you know about me. I enjoy the heavy content. I enjoy digging in deep. I like it hard and rough. It's true. I like to excavate the innards and pull them out, all that ugliness, and make something fucking beautiful with them. This poet can do that. I'm not going to say much more about that. I'm just going to let you behold Liz.
Hello. My name is Liz. As Kristen just said, who I also love your poetry as well. So, fans of fans. Yeah, I write about some really heavy stuff because I write about the shit that people don't want to talk about, and my poetry starts conversations. So we're gonna talk about some stuff. And I want to start off with a poem that I wrote a long time ago as a teenager that I've never performed before, and that I actually forgot about until I was just going down the rabbit hole of the Notes app. And I found it, and I was like, this is actually really good. I don't know why I never did this. So we'll start off with this one. This is just titled Clockwork. Time does not stop for you. It will not wait for you to make up your mind. So make my mind a clock. Let time flow by. Let this body be a moment. Let it be and let it fade to only a memory or a nightmare. Let the demons stay under your bed because they are hiding just like you are. I've made friends with the monster in my closet, and maybe that's why I never came out to my mom. Am I the bad girl? Sorry. Who wants the sad girl? The bad girl? The one that's ripping at the seams and the stuffing isn't all that pretty girl? Who wants to see the one that smiles in the dressing room? Because that dress looks hella good on you, but you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to see me smile because that makes me a faker. Attention whore. Makes this poem more 5 things you didn't know about my acting skills. 1, they're good. 2, you didn't seem to believe me when I was telling the truth. 3, they say to act in front of a mirror. Scream until you hear her, nobody heard me. 4, they say my eyes look some kind of bright when I cry. 5, my eyes are looking some kind of bright. I wash my paintbrushes and my tears. Maybe then I could paint a salty soaked ocean, make my canvas soggy, let it dry and crumble, show it off like I saw it on Pinterest. Because it's only, wait, hold on. Show it off like I saw it on Pinterest. Bottle my heart, put a bow on it, and sell it for $15.99 plus tax. If I tell you my story, will you believe me? And will you read the pages how they are, or will you rip them out and rearrange the words to make it easier to swallow? Because time does not stop for you. So make my mind a clock and let it go and let it live on. All right, and for this next one, I want to give a little shout out to my wonderful boyfriend, right here, Mr. Classic Williams. He really just brought out something in me that had been there all along that I had never seen before. So I have a little appreciation poem for him. He is a soldier, a gentle giant of sorts, my knight and shining jewelry. His voice is a low resonance, a rumble in my chest in the early mornings, and a booming echo through speakers late at night. He is a warrior, and he has the scars to prove it, whether they are visible or not, tangible or not. His skin is buttery and smooth, but his mind is textured with creativity and wonder, and it is solid. My mind is ever flowing. A whitewater river runs rapid through me, and we collide in a paradox. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And I love him, my knight in shining jewelry. I am no damsel in distress, but I would not hesitate to let down my hair if it meant that he would engulf me in his sweet scent of sweat and tobacco smoke. He is strong. He holds the weight of both of our worlds in the palm of his hand, and he drives fast cars and drinks good liquor, and he awakened a beauty inside of me that had been right in front of me the whole time. So for this next one, I'm gonna talk to you while I find it. So maybe TMI, but it relates. So the past few months have been really life-changing for me as I have been recovering from an eating disorder. And I went through a whole residential PHP, IOP to outpatient step down, and I'm completely outpatient at this point, and I'm doing much better. So for anyone else who is struggling with that, and also your poem about the dieting and all that kind of stuff, it's a scam. Don't listen to it. How you are is beautiful just the way you are. And I really wish that I got that in my head when I was younger. But I think it is time for me to really, really talk about it. So this poem is titled, "My Best Friend is the Other Side of My Brain." Have you ever had that one friend that you can never remember the day you met? They've just always been there for what seems like forever. I have a friend like that. I talk to her for what seems like hours. We can chat all day long about clothes and fashion and food, but my other friends are telling me that she's toxic, that she's selfish. She takes things from me. She whispers in my ear all the mean things I believe about myself. She told me to throw away my dinner when I was little, and I did. She told me to believe every mean thing ever said to me, and I did. And when Mom told me she could see my ribs, she told me to take it as a compliment, to take it as a sign to keep going, to throw away this body like I threw away my food, and I did. She walks on one hemisphere of my brain and goes undetected. She steals me from my friends, tells me to tell them that I am too busy to go out for lunch, busy filling myself with ice water, tells me the ice water will clean me better, and her voice sounds just like mine. So how am I to know that I am not to blame for destroying the body that carries me? This half of my brain has trapped me, taped my mouth shut so nothing can go in, taped my mouth shut so she can steal my voice, but she is my best friend. She's been there for as long as I can remember. And I love how we can talk for hours, even though we have nothing in the world in common. All right, this is a really short one, but I just think it's very concise, and I think it says everything it needs to say in a few lines. And it's just titled Bipolar. I seem to write best when I'm in love or when I'm ready to die. The only thing these two have in common is absolution. I'm either immortal or on my deathbed. There is only the mountain peak and the bottomless ocean, and I can only seem to find middle ground when I jump. Ooh. All right, here's a longer one. Who in here loves women? All right, this poem is titled Green Tea. You say that I am impure. You say that I need saving, but nothing feels more holy than a woman. We have created sacred space in her bedroom. She is the gospel. What is impure about love? Why must I be saved when I've already been baptized in her sweat? We may not read from the same holy book, but I have studied her mind, and that feels holy. Our covenant has been written in lipstick. We drink sangria in our communion. I love women. I like my women how I like my green tea. Strong and hot and steeped for too long. I want her to burn my mouth to remind me to give her space to cool down, with a touch of honey to sweeten the bitterness of rejection. I like my women steamy, cuddled up on the couch, trying to find a way to hold her that doesn't burn. I want to sip on her when I'm sick. I want to sip on her to give me a boost. I want to sip on her just because she is warm, and she forces me to take a deep breath, and I breathe in her steam, and it warms my core. So if you think I need saving, I will pray for you. So this one I wrote after, like months after a breakup. And I really hope that other people can relate to this because in my opinion, it's annoying. So this one doesn't really have a title, but yeah. My heart is only broken sometimes. I only sometimes miss you, which others might see as progress, but all I see it as is inconvenience. It is tedious to have this battle every 2 weeks. It is annoying writing the same poem over and over and over again. It is really out of my way to send the risky text again. So yeah, I miss you, but only sometimes. Give me 1 second. Okay, here's a throwback to the very first slam poem that I ever wrote, but I think I wrote it when I was about 13, maybe. And not to brag or anything, but I've always been good.
I love when people love their old shit.
Right?
Yeah.
There are no roses in my bouquet. There are plenty of thorns to prick my fingers as I count the stems, but there are no roses in my bouquet. There are plenty of vines and leaves that drape the vase, but they will die in a week because there are no roses in my bouquet. I guess I could plant more, but where do you find the seeds of desire? I cannot go pick them from my neighbor's garden because they do not hold such beauty and resilience. These thorns that send my crimson heart through my fingers is my hesitation to say the words that get lost in my lungs, hesitation to fill the void with God knows what, hesitation to stop hesitating. There are no roses in my bouquet. Where do you find the roses that stay? All right, and then I have another one, which is a bit longer that I will put an extra trigger warning on because I've only read this poem once, and it was at a funeral. And I just have this person on my mind right now, and his name is Riley, and he's not with us anymore, but he is always with me and always with his friends and his family. So I just want to speak his name right now. So this is titled Riley. I don't believe in fate or destiny. I believe that every action has a consequence, therefore creating a chain of events. Even walking. You put one foot in front of the other, and if you don't, the consequence is you stay where you are until you move again. And if you do not take another breath, you will not see another day. And the consequence is that day will never end until you come to fill that space. The oceans will boil and the deserts will freeze as the earth decides not to spin. And suddenly, every song has your name in it, and every pill bottle has mine. Suddenly, every person has your face, and I can't seem to find a mirror that has mine. I want to believe this world was not big enough for your soul, that your body had reached its breaking point, and you had to release the pressure your true self had built in the cage of your skeleton. But today, I will not romanticize this. You faced a world of hate and discomfort as well as love and friendship. Your smile always lit up the face and lives of others, and mine included. I wish I knew all of the story, all of your story. And I miss you so much, and the tears come in waves. I don't believe in fate or destiny. I believe that every action has consequences and outcomes. Every step of life has led to this point and will continue to do the same. You have that power in the universe, and the universe was moved because of you, and I promise that they will all worship the ground you walked on. All right, and then I'm really bad at time management. But I will do a longer one. If you have seen me perform here before, then you know this poem, and it is my favorite poem, and I do it all the time. And this is titled "Everything That This Is Not." Sometimes I get these moments of deafening silence where the only thing I can hear is my own voice. And if I'm not talking, I can hear my breathing. And if I'm not breathing, I can hear my heartbeat. So maybe if my heart stops beating, I will finally hear nothing. But for once, this is not me threatening to die. I get uncomfortable when it's quiet, but I also hate when it's loud because then my head gets loud to compensate, and then I need quiet, but not the type of quiet where it's also loud, you know? Loud like their contradictions and their judgments and their reasons to justify reason, all seemingly muted stares from across the room. But for once, this is not me crying for help. I've written 2 stanzas of this poem, and I'm wondering how the next one will go, just like you are. I find it fascinating how I can't choose what to write about. Rape or relapse or recovery. How I hate when people scan the barcode on my forearm to judge my worth, but how I also yearn for that small piece of the puzzle because I'm lost. How I have handprints branded onto my skin from the friend, from the ex, from the guy who would only knock on the door twice when he wanted to see me, and he only ever wanted to see me, but for once, this is not a rape poem. So I jumped down, I fell down the rabbit hole to escape, and I found a world I could wander but never be lost. Because Wonderland is not made for those who balance well on a seesaw between reason and sense, and for once, this is not me running from the problem. As a child, I always saw roses that the thorns cut off. Like raindrops wiped away with razor words, they say, it's just safer if forever holds them. I'm falling into place like the petals of a rose onto concrete. It seems I don't fit. They say squares don't fit into circles, but I say they just didn't push hard enough. I'm a toy, a wooden block with printed letters on each side. I was taught to read them, but to never understand what they meant. Because nobody likes when you've got it all figured out. I was taught to read, but also that I had to be read too. I'm a square being put into a circle when I didn't fit. I assumed nobody else did. But when my corners scraped against their surface, I found I was the only one. So I took razors to my edges so that my corners don't prick like rose thorns. So that it's just safer if it ever holds me. And as always, this is such a pity. All right, I will close out with one more, which is okay, or 2 more. Okay, I think I could stay up. You could let me stay up here all night. But yeah, okay, I'll do 2 more. So this next one, I might as well do, since my mom showed y'all where I get my talent from. I will do one for her. And this is titled, My Mother is an Artist. My mother is an artist. She built me courage out of fabric and thread. She creates poetry with her eyes, and she leaves wildflowers everywhere she steps. But she doesn't like to walk around because my mother is a big woman. But she creates more space than she takes up. And I want to fill that space with my own. She takes me in her arms and I fall into her realm. When I would cry, she painted portraits and abstract love on my back with her palms. My mother is an artist. My brother and I are both her masterpieces, but it seems nobody can appreciate art. I am a charcoal sketch on butcher paper hanging from the ceiling by trapeze artists. My brother, a thick acrylic painting on watercolors deep in the ground, and if you step on this cool thing, he explodes into the air with muffins. She carved a smile into my dad's face, and if you hug him really tight, his teeth fall out and pop like firecrackers. This is not a normal gallery. My house is a museum in the middle of the suburbs. And I won't call her Jesus, but she could have changed water to wine, the acetone in my cup to apple juice. I won't call her God, but she danced on top of Alice's tears and told her being big is not something to cry about. My mother is an artist, and she leaves wildflowers everywhere she steps. But she doesn't like to walk around much because someone once called them weeds. And now it is my turn to plant a seed with every step and kick their ass so they too can have a flower garden. Yeah. All right. And I will leave you with something heavy to think about, and also to hopefully anyone else who is dealing with anything that is mentioned in this poem knows that you are not alone. And I feel it too, and it sucks. And if anyone wants to like smoke weed with me and forget about it, let me know. So this poem I want to try and explain it to you, and I know you won't understand when I tell you. My skin is moving. I can feel my veins running through me like congested highways, carrying criminal blood. I can feel my rapist sitting in Grand Central Station, burning a hole in the sea. I wish you could fathom what it feels like to have your intestines tied in a noose, to feel your insides become your outsides, but on purpose. I don't know how to explain the sensation of my wrists needing to cry. I wish I could, but I can't make missing the scars make sense. So I guess all of this is to say I don't need to be reminded of my ignorance. I am well aware of reality in the same way I'm aware of the planets in the solar system. It is so easy to only see beyond your nose. And sometimes I get carried away with the notion that I am something more, that the universe has filled me up with stardust and I am merely passing through. And I guess that is to say my body does not feel like home. I have been walking through this life as a guest, only I am not allowed to leave. Thank you, everyone. My name is Liz. You can find me on Instagram at lucid_daydreams. I am also putting finishing touches on my own book. I am working on printing it. It will be titled To Whom It May Concern, and it will be filled with everything that you just heard. Not everything, but this and more, as well as other little snippets and doodles and illustrations. So I'm very excited to share all of that with you. And thank you so much for having me.
That magnificent Liz! Oh! So worthy of the one named moniker. The mononym Liz. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna sit with it. I'm gonna replay the live stream. Thanks to the Patreon for tuning in. Okay, y'all. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this time and space. I want to ask before we say the last few words of the evening, anyone who would like a turn? This mic is yours. Yeah. Hey, look, it's Greg Slade. Welcome, Greg Slade.
Yeah, I was running late, but I'm glad I caught the last of Liz. That was wonderful. And thank you, Liz, actually. I was nervous about reading this poem. I wrote this poem today, and it's about stuff I never speak of. And when I walked in here, I wasn't sure I was going to read it. But actually, you'll see that you kind of opened that space, so I appreciate you. It's called Bloodletting. No one is as vulnerable as someone trying to defend themselves. Much of the pain we feel is fleeting or false. This type of pain does not trouble me overmuch. What though of the pain that is legitimate and unceasing in us? This pain is another beast entirely. What of the pain that can in no way be relieved? What truth lies behind the science of how we are seen to grieve? My wife tried to kill herself while I was at work. I don't really remember what I was doing, how I found out. I don't even know what I did. I did then what the world demanded of me at the time, I suppose. I only know that it happened. Her brother was there. He texted me, I guess. I'm supposing we may have even spoken. I don't really know. I guess that's one of those times, I guess they call it trauma, when our brains don't seem to know they've been broken. Mm-hmm. What then do you do about a pain such as that? She did not die. There is no removing the blood from those moments. For me, I couldn't even be there to clean any of it up. This can only be left to my imagination. I'm sure I rushed home as soon as I really could. It was too late by the time it had happened. It was hours, at least, I'm sure, before I was able to make it back there. If you could prove I worked the whole day through, I would be hard-pressed to deny it. I don't think I did, but that was the last time I recall my mind being so fucking fractured. From there, it's like describing a riot. To have that happen, to be nowhere around, to have her brother there even served to alienate me further from the experience in a way. The culmination of the deterioration of all my renewed dreams had become complete. My new future was broken. Like it had been broken before? Was that what it seemed to always have been? My failure to overcome myself, shown by my failure to please or help someone else. My need to focus on another's needs undone by my own need to succeed. It doesn't come so natural to me. What someone should do is sometimes easy for me to see. Is it what we need, though, or what we want that makes us happy? Are they the same shapes, seen by differing degrees? How does one survive the proof that life will crumble if you let it, or even if you don't? What is the right way to take a tragedy? Isn't it to somehow secretly always regret it? Is there not something ignoble in ever feeling better forever? As if you could again forget it? As if it had never crossed your mind that your tragedy survives the same way it tried to die? Because you let it. So yes, I suppose I hold my pain all bottled up inside, lock myself in the bathroom to let it drip a little with the wax of the wick in the night. They say it's not good for you now, but it's the only way I've ever known since to feel all right. It's called bloodletting.
Greg Slade, thank you again. You all are wonderful individuals, powerful each in your own right, and I know you feel this energy of this space multiplied exponentially for you to carry it forth. This has been amazing as it is. Thank you each for your contribution. I want to check one more time. Does anyone have anything burning on your lips, hearts, minds, spirit to say before? I'm going to close us out with a poem. Okay. All right. So I would also like to offer love to the people of Ukraine and all the people caught in a war not of their own make. And this poem, my partner Bart, who helps out here, thank you, and in so many ways, sent this to me. It's by Anastasia Afanasieva. It's called Kharkiv. That's my home, she says. 1, that's my home. There was a bridge here. Now there isn't. That's my home. That's my yard. It's still here. Where a bridge stood, there's a river. No more bridge. Where there was once a pass, now there's a line. We live here, on the line. In the devil's belly, that's where. 2, I came back. Barely made it. Took a while to get everyone out. I have a big family. My parents are old. Then there are my brother, my sister, and my pregnant daughter. I got them all out of that damned house. Just imagine, there's a river. There was a bridge there. Now it's destroyed. On the one side of the river, these people. On the other side, those. Whoever they are, between them, our house. It took me so many trips there and back for each person. I barely got them out. A big family. These on the one side, those on the other. The house stands like a shadow, as though lead passes through the walls, or the house contorts its beams so that it can dodge a hail of bullets. It twists left and right. What it took me, a woman, to get all of them out, you can't imagine. One by one, right from the belly of the beast, coming back every time, diving into all of that, not knowing if there will be a way, but I got them all out. And then my daughter, yes, the pregnant one, says she wants to return. She's headed back tomorrow. She has someone there, a man she loves. See, he stayed back there, and love, well, you know how love goes with those young people. You know how it is for them. Anything for love. I love you all. I'm going to give you extra special thanks for being here tonight. And to Liz, let's hear it one more time. The magnificent Liz! Thank you again. Patrick and the Portland Brew East crew have been staying late just for us. I know they've taken such good care of you. Make sure you tip them in cash to show your appreciation on the way down. The jar for the suggested cover is right there. There's also some other means of paying that. Or you can check us out on Patreon, brand new. We'll have an archive of the live stream if you want to watch yourselves back. I'll post the full photo set if you want to download your pictures or anything like that. You can send me a message if you've got more ideas or requests. This is a community event. I'm your host, Christine Hall. You got an idea, you can email it to poetryinthebrew@gmail.com. We're Poetry in the Brew on all the socials. Poetryinthebrew.wordpress.com, patreon.com/poetryinthebrew. Oh my goodness. So anyway, we're here the second Saturday of every month, and we would love to see you back. Follow us if you want to get in on the Zooms too. We'll be restarting those real soon. Y'all be safe. Take good care. Write some poems and bring them back. Good night.